You should have just paid us, you fucking dipshit.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
Should have. You should listen to us when we say things.
Should have avoided all of this.
Yeah, should have just given us 5 stars. Piece of shit. Okay, so we're back. We're back with part 1.
Yep.
Of the inevitable 2-part breakdown of 211. We got the correct pronunciation. 211. It's a 211.
Oh, you got the correct.
Oh, you had it right the first time, right?
Nice. All right. Yeah.
Well, that came up in Trailer Trash. If this movie was called, was it 211 or is it 211? Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if you looked it up. You did. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they said it in the movie too.
Although you never know.
That's true. Although based on the many errors in this movie, that could be wrong too. But no.
Yeah.
211, 2018. So many numbers. Nicolas Cage. Yeah, just needs to make some money movie. You know.
Oh my God.
Pay off debts. It's a pay off debt movie. Someone get him out of debt so we can make some better movies.
Yeah. Because he makes good ones in between.
He does. He just sneaks some good ones in there, and you're like, oh, okay. And then all these other ones are just kind of.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. But hey, sometimes you just want to work, you know?
Yeah. I guess so.
It's for the love of the game.
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to work. Said no one ever.
Does acting really work though? It's just, it's just.
Yeah, actors, get at us.
Yeah, come at us. Okay, so full breakdown. Would you want to recap what this movie is about?
So, in case you forgot from the trailer trash, while on a routine patrol, an aging cop, his partner, and their ride along get caught in a standoff with a band of former mercenaries robbing a bank.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that is what happened.
So, yeah.
Good logline.
We were, our prognostications were off. I think I was going with the Kaiser Sose thing with Kenny, the ride along. That didn't come true. That would have been much cooler if it did.
Yep. We all had like hilarious and bad things happening to Kenny, which didn't really. Yeah. Like we thought he was going to sneak into the back of the truck with the robbers.
Yeah,
but
that didn't happen. No.
He just sneaks in the back of a truck and sits there.
Yeah.
An hour.
And powers his phone with a DC battery.
Yeah, so funny.
A 10 volt battery.
Yeah. 9 volt. Yeah, who knows?
9 volt. That's what it was. Sorry, 9 volt.
How many volts are we talking? But we were wildly off, I think.
Yeah.
Wildly off. Like I don't think we really got anything right.
I don't think we did either. Did we even do like the? I think we thought I think maybe I said Nick Cage was going to die or something.
Yep, you definitely said Nick Cage was going to die.
He doesn't. We were wrong about the partner, the daughter thing. Like that wasn't even. We didn't even
think of that.
No.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't in the trailer, so like we couldn't.
Not really.
Know.
Yeah. They didn't really focus on the daughter at all. She wasn't even in it.
I was going to say I don't think she was in the trailer, was she?
No. So
and the trailer was misleading.
A little bit,
which we knew. Like I have so many gripes with, again, but now I have extra gripes with saying this is inspired by the North Hollywood shooting.
Oh, like extra beyond gripes. Yeah. Like
I'm so mad.
Like the only thing that's, I don't know. It's
literally nothing in common except it's a bank robbery.
That's it. That could be based on anything.
Any bank robbery.
Any bank robbery ever.
Yeah. So mad. I'm sure we'll get there. I'll yell about random things.
Okay. All right. So we were wrong, but I still think our prognostications were better than what we got, though.
Yes. This is maybe, I know you said it, maybe the worst movie we've done in a long time.
Yeah. I think it's got to be listed as a comedy somewhere, I think, but hey,
it has to be.
You just got to, you keep plugging at your craft. Just stick with it. Stick with your craft.
Or retire. Never make a movie again, ideally.
I'm trying to be positive here. All right, so you want to know quick info on who was involved with this? This
more than anything.
This 211?
Who did this to us?
I'll tell you who did. You ready for this? So this was directed by York Alec Shackleton.
What a name.
Not a real name, but
no,
it's going to go in the list of good names. The ITMT good name list.
For sure.
So York Shackleton, kind of, yeah, kind of ridiculous. Famous for being a snowboarder, I guess.
What?
Yeah. Famous snowboarder.
Oh, I thought it was like one of those fake names where for directors that are ashamed of what they've done.
No, that like the Alan Smithy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But like Rusty Shackelford.
No, York Shackleton's from Southern California. That all tracks. But what doesn't track is there's professional snowboarding. I guess there's snow in California at some point. And skateboarding. Yeah. And so we're hitting the professional circuit, and then they were doing like commercial, sport stuff. Yeah. Crazy.
Stick to what you know, bud. Stick to sports.
Yep. He's all over the place. So he started a company apparently, grew snowboards, late 90s, took his tricks to the whatever, and then he started making movies, a lot of producing of stuff here.
Huh.
Well, nothing
good for him.
Yeah, like video stuff. He's got 9 directing credits, which and a couple writing credits here, but yeah, he wrote screenplay 211. Yeah. So
interesting.
Yep, that's York.
Wow. Okay. Well, we hate you
immediately.
At least I do. I can't speak for you.
I don't know. I don't know them, but to make movies like this, I don't know.
Yeah, you must suck.
So screenwriters, we got York Shackleton involved here, and John Rebus, who doesn't exist on the internet. John Rebus has done only this on IMDb.
Only this, huh?
Only this, which crazy, huh?
Johnny Rebus. As I live and breathe.
Yeah, there's nothing. He doesn't exist anywhere. So
cool. That's fun.
Yeah, good for you, John. You wrote a script. You got some money for it, probably, and you're like, hey, I wrote a Hollywood script that Nick Cage was in.
Yeah, I like a good mystery, John.
That's who you leave it when you make a movie like this. And Nick Cage, and you're like, yeah, I wrote a Hollywood movie that Nick Cage was in. You're like, which one? That's not important.
Yeah, not a national treasure.
I'll just say it's not a national treasure. How about that?
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, that's not a good bragging point. Like, I guess it's a cool bragging point of being like, oh yeah, I made a movie that Nick Cage was in, but also it's like, I know he's in a lot of bad movies.
Yeah, but
he's famous for that.
But at the end of the day, like when we finally write a movie and we write that movie that Nick Cage is in, we're gonna be like, yeah, we wrote a movie that Nick Cage was in. Like, no doubt.
True.
Like that's gonna be
for sure.
That's going on our resume. Like,
yeah. Well, but we'll brag about getting 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, right. Like we're purposely gonna write a movie that's gonna be less than 30%, so we can actually review our own movie. Like that's
exactly.
We're very meta here.
It'll be intentional when we do it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we won't. Yeah.
Unless it's good, and then it won't be.
Yeah. All right. So who's in this thing? So we got our boy Nick Cage here, best friend of the pod at this point, right?
Yeah.
Such hits as Jiu-Jitsu, Kill Chain, right? Other gems of in the ITMT archives. Everyone should go back and listen to. So he plays Mike Chandler, our old retiring cop here.
Yep.
We got Dwayne Cameron plays Steve McAvoy. He's his partner, his buddy, and son-in-law.
Yep. Mostly known as Mac in the movie. Like, right. I didn't know his name was Steve until 3/4 of the way through.
I didn't either. I was like, wait, what's... Oh, and then I looked at the guy, they're doing the last name thing.
Yeah. I was like, who's he talking to? Is it Steve? What are you...
Yeah. I'm just going to call you Deluxe. Steve? I'm going to call you Deluxe from now on.
Nice. Classic.
And then new friend of the pod, Sophie Skelton.
What else was she in?
Oh, you son of a... Literally, we just did a movie with her.
Oh.
Like, just did a movie with her.
Are you surprised?
I'm not, but I'm a little disappointed. Another Momentum Pictures friend, Millennium Media friend. Sophie Skelton, she plays Lisa McAvoy, Steve's wife there, a.k.a. Mike Cameron.
The only woman in the movie.
Yeah. Agent Ross, who also plays Nick Cage's daughter in this movie. Sophie Skelton is in Outlanders, was in Day of the Dead Bloodline. She plays the doctor. Yeah.
Oh, like the main character?
Yes.
Oops.
Jesus, man. Jesus.
Oh, the makeup department doing a lot of heavy lifting in Day of the Dead.
Nope. She just looks exactly the same.
Nope.
Hair was put up the exact same way too.
Huh. Yeah. Well, didn't recognize her.
Well, she's in this and friend of the pod now because we've talked about her at least 2-3 times. So.
Yep. Wow. She's the best.
There you go. Michael Rainey Jr. plays Kenny, our ride-along. Alexandra Dinu? Alexandra Dinu?
Dino? Dinu. Yeah.
Dinu?
Okay.
Yeah. Plays Agent Rossi, Interpol agent, tracking this mercenary crew. And then here's the mercenary crew. You ready for this? We got Ori Pfeffer.
Okay.
Pfeffer? Ori Pfeffer? Yeah, Pfeffer. That's
Pfeffer.
fine. He plays Trey. I think the main bad guy, the leader of the pack here, the leader of the Mercs, because he has the most lines, and I don't know what accent. Oh, the accents in this movie. Oof,
the accents are incredible.
Amazing. Cory Hardrict plays Hanson. We got Weston Cage.
Right. Who just got arrested.
No way.
As we record a couple days ago.
Well, he plays Luke.
Some weapons charge or something.
Who's Nick Cage's son, obviously. Weston Cage. He's got 4 kids. He shouldn't be getting arrested for weapons charges.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I need to do a little due diligence for myself.
That's fine. While you're doing that, so Weston Cage, I mean, he's kind of like ITMT here, where we do everything. He's a music guy, producer, makes songs, actor, writer, just has all those things on his credits, like we do.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Assault with a deadly weapon on his mother.
What?
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Nick Cage's ex-wife.
Yep, Christina Fulton. I guess
I don't know the name, but yeah.
Current wife. Apparently, he punched 2 victims multiple times. Who's the other victim?
Yeah. Is it Nick Cage?
There's no way. I mean, maybe no way. No, but also, wait a second. What's the deadly weapon? Are his fists deadly weapons?
Yeah, because he's an MMA guy.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, the plot thickens there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that makes sense then. Yeah, so all right, assault with a deadly weapon was just his fists.
It's just his. Oh yeah, look at this. Sonic Cage, Nicolas Cage, accused of attacking mother.
Okay, well, he stunk in this movie anyway.
Yeah,
so.
he's an actor, recording artist, music producer, and mixed martial artist. So yeah, if he attacks someone with his hands, those are considered deadly weapons, I think.
I guess so. Yeah.
When you're trained, well, you should know you're trained in the art of kicking ass, right?
Yeah, but that's not a real thing. Yeah. When people say that, it's usually a lie. Like, oh yeah, these fists are registered weapons. And you're like, no, they're not. That's not it. That's not a thing.
Mine are registered weapons of destruction.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll send George Bush after you.
Yeah. Mass destruction.
Yeah.
So he's in this. Michael Belisario plays Hyde. He's the guy who was in the car.
That name sounds familiar.
He was doing the worst job as a lookout.
Yeah. Oh, horrendous.
I get so many problems with this whole bank robbery plan to begin with. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I love this movie.
And then Eric Alley plays the drug addict, the homeless guy in the gas station with the dreads.
Oh, man. That guy.
Yeah. Busted for
what they did.
Yeah.
Look what they did to my boy.
Yeah. Just hanging out at the gas station, doing drugs, stealing cigarettes. Come on.
Totally fine. That's not a crime.
Stealing a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah, that's barely a crime.
Barely a crime. There's better crimes to go after than stealing a carton of cigarettes.
Yes, especially in Chesterford, crime-ridden Chesterford.
Oh, right. Jesus, it's like, yeah, it's like, well, okay, all right. So numbers here worldwide. This did go to the theaters in some countries. Where it made $937,961.
Wow.
Yeah. That's, what is that?
Like roughly 240-ish fanatics. Like pretty good.
Yeah. Do we need to do a recap on with the fanatic scale for everyone?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been saying that. We probably have new listeners at this point, right?
Yeah. Give them a look.
So the Fanatic famously made like $3,900,
which is the Fanatic is a movie that we did, one of our early movies with
Johnny Travolta.
Yeah, we were doing Travolta. We haven't done one of his movies. Anyways, yeah.
No, he hasn't done any bad things lately, but we could go into the archives.
Yeah. So we get The Fanatic, which was directed by our boy, Fred Durst.
That's right. Friend of the pod.
Frederick Durst. Frederick Durst. The third. With Johnny T there. And yeah, so we use that, what it made as a scale for.
Bombed. Like actually got released in theaters and somehow only made less than $4,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so there you go.
Now it's a funny way to do math for anyone else who makes money at the box office. Like,
so now
we've had some that only made a few Fanatics.
Yeah. Not good. Not good,
This
Bob.
one, 200 plus fanatics. That's fine.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So obviously this is all international. They didn't do this movie went direct to video here in the old stateside here. Video combined international and domestic, it made 2.1 million. Let's call it 2.1 million.
That's too much.
Yeah, so it's too much. Probably not a box office success here. So
yeah,
I couldn't
huge in Bulgaria.
I couldn't find any numbers on budget numbers, so I don't know.
I can tell you. Probably Nick Cage probably gets, I don't know, 100K.
Not what you think this should. Hold on. Not what you think this movie should be made for. What the actual number is.
No. I'm saying what the actual numbers are here. Nick Cage pulls 100K probably. They used a lot of fake ammo, so that's probably the biggest expense.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they just shot it on a studio. They've shot at a studio in Bulgaria, so that's got to cost nothing.
Most of those explosions were digital. Some of them may be practical.
Yes.
I think we're looking at a combined budget here, 150K. Taking into account the $100,000 they paid Nick Cage.
I actually don't want to know the budget numbers because in real life it's probably like 8 or 9 million or something stupid. Because that's what Day of the Dead wasn't it? Like 10 million or something like that.
Yeah, way too much.
Way too much. Like, what are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. It definitely is.
Rotten Tomatoes, it sits at 4% on the critical, 11% on the audience. So
a generous 4.
Yes.
We've done zeros on this podcast, and this may be worse than some of those.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's that. You want some fast facts?
Back me, Daddy.
I'm gonna. Okay. So we got. I think we already said it, but this was filmed in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Yeah.
I don't know that place, but.
Is that the capital? No.
I don't know. And it was shot at the New Bojana Film Studios in Bulgaria. So yeah. So Bulgaria stands in for Afghanistan.
They used to say Bulgaria was an acronym.
Yeah.
I don't think Bulgaria is an acronym, but
better undo lacy garments around rich international Americans.
Australians. Oh.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so this was from Bulgaria, which stands in for Massachusetts and Afghanistan. So
Bulgaria doing a lot of heavy lifting in this movie.
Yeah, we'll point out the geographical gripes we have in some moments. This is not Massachusetts. Maybe no one from Massachusetts will watch it. All right, so then Nick Cage here broke his ankle while filming this in Bulgaria.
What?
He was out of action for 2 weeks. Well, he does his own stunts.
He is famous for that.
Nick Cage admitted that he didn't like the final cut and described the movie as disappointing. Yeah.
Well, we're all on the same page then.
It's the third collaboration between Nick Cage and his assaulting son, Weston Cage.
Alleged assault.
They were in Rage together in 2014, which might be a ITMT fit.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Anything about that movie?
Yeah, it came out in 2014, but I saw the cover and I was like, this doesn't look good. And he was also in Lord of War in 2005.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I know you love that movie. So yeah, his son was in that.
Watch it, huh?
No.
I wonder what his son was in it. I bet he was like
Vladimir. He was like playing some.
That makes sense. I was gonna say something like arms dealer guy or something. Yeah, that makes sense. Huh.
So we called this out in the trailer trash. Someone wrote this as a fast fact, trivia on IMDb. They said, this is what they wrote. Chesterford zip code is 02452, placing it in Middlesex County, Massachusetts.
Yep.
Correct. 02452 is in Middlesex County, Massachusetts. 02452 is North Waltham, Massachusetts. Chesterford does not exist as a town in Massachusetts. We have a Chester, Massachusetts, and we have a Chesterfield, but we do not have a Chesterford. So you can't put that in the trivia section. I mean, I guess you could because you're saying like, oh, this is where this town should be, I guess. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but
I guess so.
Anyways,
suspicious.
Final fast fact. So the movie 211 refers to the California Penal Code for robbery. This code, I went down a rabbit hole for police codes and like all this in it. So this code doesn't exist in Massachusetts. Isn't used or exist in Massachusetts. So there's no 211.
We don't have bank robberies here.
So the codes, they're actually called 10 codes, I think, radio codes, and they're 1060, 1035, whatever. They vary, but the codes for like different things vary by state, county by county, and even department by department. So you can go online, you can find them like wherever city you're in. But if you're curious, the Boston Metro code for a robbery is a 1060. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, we got a 1060 on our hands.
Yeah, stealing people's eyeballs here with bad movies.
My heart.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all I have for Fast Facts. That make you feel pretty quick, right? Those are fast.
Yeah, I think you did a great job today.
Thanks, man.
And every day.
I like to think so.
Yeah, but especially today.
All right. Do you want to do? You want to Hollywood pitch me?
The next segment. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, this movie, obviously, Super Troopers meets The Lost Boys. Right?
Sorry, I got. Jake, I'm going to take a sip of my Polar Seltzer from Worcester, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Brought to you by Polar Seltzer.
Yeah, come on down. I don't know if that's their thing.
We're trying out some soft sponsorships.
Yeah, we're going all local sponsorships right now. Polar Seltzer, come on down. I don't know if that.
Come on down. That's their slogan.
Taste the bubbles.
Yep. Taste the bubble. That's a good one. I would use that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Super Troopers, we all know and love, right?
We all know and love. Yes. Right me out. Right me out.
So we're talking small town New England cops, which just like this movie, I was very confused about Chesterford because at times they like definitely tried to make it seem like a small town, but then also they tried to make it seem like this small town had a big SWAT team.
Yeah, I was very confused. Like, I know. I was like, wait, hold on. Chesterford has the funding for 5 SWAT Humvees and a SWAT team.
They don't.
They don't. The non-existent town, we're gonna tell you right now, does not.
Yep. And so Super Troopers, small town Vermont, and the cops are like mostly goofing around and having a good time. And just like in this movie, the cops are mostly goofing around.
Yeah. Don't shoot me in the ass, all right? They're
right. Being dum-dums.
You mean dum-dums?
Yeah, it's funny. I would have a little wishful thinking. I would have liked some more practical jokes and pranks in this movie, like Super Troopers.
That would have been better. Yeah.
A little levity to the situation, perhaps.
No.
These small town cops unwittingly discover a large scale crime that they're wildly unqualified for.
Yep.
It's the marijuana smuggling in Super Troopers.
That's right. Yeah, you cut right through Vermont up to Montreal, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, and related international crimes that don't make any sense. So,
right.
Super Troopers, they're doing a lot of stuff with Canadians, and in this one, there's Interpol, and it makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Yep. Super funny. And I think I would have liked to see a little more realistic corruption in this movie, like there is in Super Troopers. Yeah. Cops are always corrupt. A little bit of real, a little bit of wishful thinking.
Okay.
Meets The Lost Boys. Another obvious pitch here. In case you forgotten, The Lost Boys.
I've never forgot.
Never forget The Lost Boys.
Never forget.
Well, the Corys.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Yep.
One of them.
Yeah. Basically both of them.
Feldman.
Haim is dead. Haim is dead.
Haim's dead. Okay. Feldman's.
Yeah.
On his way down.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's where I think they overlap perfectly. That movie is about corrupting a young man boy.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Jason Patrick's character in The Lost Boys, Michael.
Yep. From Speed 2 fame. Yep.
Yeah. From Speed 2 fame.
Cruise Control, by the way, if you remember the subtitle.
I didn't, but thank you. Yep. So Michael basically is
movie.
What a stupid movie. Yeah, don't mess with perfection.
No, don't. Yeah.
When you do a speed, you don't do a speed 2.
No, you just let it sit.
Right. Michael basically goes for a ride along with vampires, right?
Yes, he does.
And just like Kenny in this movie, he's going for ride along with some morally questionable individuals. Gets converted along the way, right? And at least takes the first steps towards becoming a vampire, just like Kenny. Kind of like he shoots that guy at the end.
Oh, spoilers! But oh my goodness,
yeah. But doesn't kill him because that other is it Rossi that kills him?
Yeah. Well, I think so. I don't know. She shoots him in the shoulder. Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. We'll get there.
So I think that's important too, right? Like Michael doesn't end up killing anyone. Why he doesn't fully become a vampire,
right?
Just like Kenny doesn't fully become a cop yet because he doesn't kill anyone, which, as we know, is the rite of passage to become a police officer.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
And the other big one that I thought was funny for me, remember the last line of Lost Boys?
No.
It's after the grandpa kills the head vampire there.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
One thing about living in Santa Clara, I could never stomach all the damn vampires.
That's
right. And this movie also has a wicked stupid last line that's very funny from the grandpa character, right?
Yeah. All of Chesterford. I can't stand all the damn cops. No, yeah.
Nope. Nicolas Cage says, "Hey, Kenny, where's that phone you've been messing around with? You're always screwing around with. Like, I want to take some new pics."
What is that line?
It's awesome.
And the way he says it's just like, yeah, like what?
Yep, delivered by a new grandpa, just like in The Lost Boys.
That's pretty good.
Not a new grandpa, but
that's pretty good. Okay,
thank you. What do you got?
All right, I'm going with I'd buy that movie, by the way, in a heartbeat. If you came to me and was like, "Hey, I need $10 million to make Super Troopers meets The Lost Boys," I'm like, done. Let's make it. Sold. Here's a blank check. Go for it. Next. Okay, so I'm going kind of a little on the nose a little bit here, but I'm going. It's Die Hard meets Finding Nemo.
Super on the nose.
Super on the nose. Mm-hmm. So Die Hard's kind of obvious one, right? We got some, mercenary terrorist type guys robbing a bank. Yep. Basically, it's a robbery, right? It's just a robbery. That's what we got here. We got a cop who's kind of out of his element. Kind of shouldn't be what he's doing, but he's doing it.
Yep.
We have some accent work. I'm not sure if the mercenary guys were supposed to be from the U.S. Yeah, they were. They were.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think yes. Yes.
Because they said like hoorah. So I was like, oh wait, are they supposed to be like they're supposed to be like Marines or like military of some sort, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
But the main guy's accent was definitely like, are you from Bulgaria?
It was like a Bulgaria Boston.
Bulgaria via Boston. Yeah. So we're going a little accent work here. Let's see what else is there for that. We got some SWAT team stuff going on. No FBI though. Interpol. Okay, yeah, I think that's it for Die Hard.
Yeah.
Just covering the basics.
Kind of a heist.
Yeah, basically, right. Meets Finding Nemo. I mean, kind of once they lose Kenny, it becomes
well.
It kind of becomes
like be more about finding Kenny, but.
Well, it kind of does like where Nick Cage is like, oh, I got to go back for my ride along. And it's like, where's Kenny? And you kind of have these, small fish in a big pond moments, right? Because, he shouldn't be involved in doing this. Kenny shouldn't be there. No one should be there. Nope. But yeah, he tries and goes and finds Nemo, who they kind of have a moment where they're kind of have like a somewhat father-son kind of moment, I think, in the car where he's like, oh, you're getting bullied? Oh, that's sexy. You know, friends, whatever. And he kind of, tries to take care of him. And then it becomes, they find him, but,
That's right. Just like Finding Nemo.
If you haven't seen that movie, shame on you.
Sharks.
That's it.
There are sharks in both movies.
Yeah, there's sharks in both, right? Okay, of course. Metaphorical sharks in this movie.
Yeah. Mr. Donovan, probably the biggest shark of all.
Mr. Donovan, yeah. Was that the teacher that walked in and the bullies? There's the bullies. There's like little sharks picking on a little fish kid.
Mr. Donovan's the businessman who didn't pay them.
Oh, right. The guy from the beginning. Right. And that's it. That's all I'm doing.
All right. Great pitch.
Yeah, keep it short and sweet.
Mm-hmm. Keep it tight.
I'd also fund that movie. I'd fund my own movie. I'd be like, yeah, it sounds awesome. Go make that movie.
Oh, totally. But I think that's the one we used to throw in a lot back in the listeners behind the scenes who haven't listened to many episodes. When we talked about the origins of this podcast, it was like a lot of I think we used Finding Nemo a lot in our joke pitches back in the office of like,
yes, we did.
You know, it's like
blah, blah, blah.
Like Die Hard meets Finding Nemo.
It's like Rambo meets Finding Nemo. Well, there you go. That's that. So, time to break it down. Break it down.
I think so.
Let's do a 211 on this. 211.
What?
I don't know.
Are we gonna rob the movie?
Yeah, of its life. All right.
Yeah,
So
this is the first one I feel like I had a good amount of fun watching in a while. Like I feel like the last few movies have been painfully bad.
Yeah,
this one's hilariously bad.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I actually had fun watching this because like laughing like through it. You know, a lot of it, which I don't know if that. I don't think that was intended. That's not it. No, they weren't intending for us to be laughing at it, were they? No. Okay.
No, it's a very serious movie.
Yes, very serious. Yes, movie. Okay, so we come up. We got our friends of the pod production companies and distributors.
That's right.
Know what they're doing. Momentum Pictures, Millennium Media, which is a one entertainment company, which is a subsidiary of Lionsgate Studios. Which Lionsgate.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Subsidiary of Grandma Farms Inc.
Yep. And then we cut to the credits start rolling, and we've got someone doing some laptopping.
Little hacker action. Yeah.
A little hacker action here. We got a data transfer going on. How do we know? Because it says data transfer and there's a green bar going, which that's what actually happens when you transfer data. But what doesn't happen when data is transferred like that is you keep typing to something that's not on the screen for you to type into.
That's correct. And also when you're doing a transfer, don't make this the focal point of the movie for 5 minutes. Yeah,
for the opening. It was like, okay, we get it. So we get bank accounts. We get see cash money going to various banks. So there's a big sum of money that's being distributed across multiple banks. That's how you hide it. That's what you're doing, right? Also, when you're typing and you're hacking, when you're actually typing in the keyboard, make sure you're hitting the keys themselves. I loved how there was like a side shot of the woman's fingers like touching the keyboard, and they're like in between the keys and not even like...
Well, if you can, you want to hit the J and the H at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, that's just
hacking tip.
Yeah, that's a hacking tip. That's how you hack faster, is hitting the H and the J together.
That's right.
Yeah, so she's, transferring and typing, right? And then we get our title card, 211.
And then, there's, some guy in a suit who, you can tell is the villain or some kind of villain. He looks... sketchy.
Yeah, glasses. Kind of got like a what's his face there look, Snowden kind of look to him. Yeah. Right.
And they end up transferring $800,000, which that's the other funny thing is all of the money in this movie is hilariously small numbers.
That's how does that? So because then they're like, he's like, I could tell you about a bank that's got $1 million plus. And you're like, $1 million plus to do this type of a job?
A whole million.
I'm like, there's 4 of them. That's $250,000 each.
I know, it's so little money.
What's he gonna do? What are you gonna do with that?
You can pay your rent for a couple years. Sweet.
It's 2018. I mean, I guess we got some numbers going on difference, but still, come on, $250,000.
Different.
Not different.
Yeah, very funny.
$250,000 is not worth what they're about to go through or do. And there's another title card, so we are in Afghanistan, just so you know.
Oh, they did a title card for Afghanistan?
Yeah, it's quickly at the top. They do this later on too, or it tells you we're in Chesterford or whatever, but it's at the top, it's Afghanistan. So.
Yeah, I assumed Afghanistan after a few minutes, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and then so this transfer is still going on, and she's still typing away. Well, just let the transfer happen. You can't rush it. It's based on computer speed and what you're doing. Just stop doing stuff. And she's like, all right, money is secured. I don't know if she was Russian or not, but
she's kind of Russian.
The accents were terrible in this entire movie, but I'm just going to go with whatever one we come up with. So there's a pirate in there somewhere.
We should do hilarious blended accents.
I think so too.
Everyone in this movie, except Nick Cage. Nick Cage, thank God, didn't really do any accent work.
If Nick Cage just leaned into a Massachusetts hardcore match, oh my God. That would have
pretty funny.
That would have made this movie go from a 4% to a 5% easily. And the tomatoes.
Yes. Agreed.
So money's secured, and the guy's like, "All right, we can go home." And then kablooey. Yeah, they're about to head out, and we get a car explodes. Right.
I also like how it's like, it's it's Afghanistan because there's like weird Middle East music that plays as soon as they go outside. Like, the music in the score in this movie is so ridiculous. And it's like really noticeable at various points. But like this is one of them where they're like, I don't know, like just imagine whatever like stereotypical like Middle East music that you can picture.
Go on YouTube Music or something right now, or Spotify, and just like, or punch that in on the internet and listen to that, and you're like, oh, okay, I know where we are. Okay.
Which like Afghanistan's like not even the Middle East anyway.
Anyways, so yeah, kablooey, car blows up, right? And we do know that this guy is Mr. Donovan. Oh, we can go home now. Okay, so then kablooey, car blows up. All hell's breaking loose out there. And there's a team that's like with Donovan and this woman. They're outside, military type security team, whatever, and they're just getting taken out. And we got a sniper. We got gunfire from coming from all different angles. They're in a perfect hot box of a spot, like kill box. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
What are you doing?
Do you get the motivation slightly where she's like, oh, he's like, was the special ops team contract canceled? And she's like, yep, don't worry, canceled.
Right. Well, the special ops team knows that, and they're here now to take you out. So,
yep.
Also, I should say, and I remember you and I were texting about this movie was going on. It was like so this movie's only an hour and 22 minutes. That's minus credits. Yeah. I looked at the clock. It was like an hour and 22 minutes. Great amount of time for a movie.
Love it.
Perfect. But like the pacing of this movie is so weird, and the editing is so choppy or jumpy. Maybe, I don't know. It feels like you breeze through things so fast. I couldn't even I'd blink and be like, I think I just missed like 3 scenes. Like I don't know what's happening. Like,
yes, totally. And part of my prognostication that was totally wrong. I thought that like the whole robbery was going to be like the first 15 minutes of the movie. It's actually like the last 15 minutes.
Yes,
of the movie. Like there's so much unnecessary buildup.
Yep.
Which is it's a good time.
So Donovan and the lady, they hop in a car or an SUV, whatever, and they're trying to get away. And meanwhile, the other guys are all getting plucked away, ping, right, getting headshots, yada, right. And so they're in like this. It's like a construction site, right?
Yep.
And so they're in an SUV and they just start driving, and then out of nowhere, there's a bulldozer like driving towards them, and they just drive right into it.
Which I was like, I have questions.
Yeah.
You go first. My first thought was, wait, was that a parked bulldozer?
Yeah.
That just crashed into? But then I was like, no, I think it did roll towards them a little bit.
It was moving because there was somebody in it driving it.
What? But why?
Yeah.
Why? At this point, someone has already fired a rocket launcher, exploded several vehicles. Like, why are you continuing to ride around in a bulldozer?
Yeah, like
if you're the construction guy, get out. Like, go somewhere else.
I think he was one of the mercs. I think he was part of the team. But it's like, this is part of your plan is to use a bulldozer to stop like a car. Like I've seen this in other movies, but it's been done much better.
Yeah. That would make sense if it was one of the mercs.
Yeah, it definitely was, and they were using
it as like a construction guy just riding around his bulldozer,
just working.
Guys, I got work to do.
Like, I gotta move the dirt pile from here to there. What are you guys doing?
We're behind schedule.
We're so behind schedule. Can we?
Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So they smash into the bulldozer, and the driver is smoked. And it's so funny because like this is the first moment we get where like they show the car smashing into, and you can clearly see Donovan is just a dummy that flops around in the back seat a bit. You're like, nice.
Yep. And so then the woman, his hacker partner there, she gets out and starts running away with this briefcase, which you're like, what's in the briefcase? Why is any of this important? The money's all digital. Like, what do
you don't need this thing. And we meet our mercs here, right? Our mad mercs, and our main bad guy, and he just shoots her in the back. I'm like, you're done. Okay.
Yeah, immediately. Yep. And then our hero, Mr. Donovan, here gets out, like crawls out, and immediately loses his glasses. You can't see without his glasses.
What is going on?
I love this movie. I literally. He gets out, loses his glasses. Merc walks over to him. Hey, boss. And he's like, wait, you're all supposed to be dead. And then this is where we get safety tip.
Safety tip.
One of the mercs, safety tip. Never trust the locals to get the job done. I literally was like, is this the right movie?
Yeah.
How do we get from here to bank robbery?
I was like, this is gonna be a stretch. Like, what is? But we get it immediately in the next few lines. By the way, these actors are not good. The four guys who are the mercs here. They're just it's bad. They're just not good actors. And then they're like, and they asked for $1 million. They asked for $1 million. I'm like, what? What?
Well, that's what he's like. You should have just paid us, you dipshit. And the guy's like, this just for money?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we've done worse for you. You owe us a straight up $1 million.
Straight up $1 million? That's it?
I don't know. Yeah. He's like kind of doing a Boston accent now, like that main merc, Boston by way of Bulgaria.
But yeah. I was like, what is happening? Can everyone just use their very old accents, please?
And then did they shoot him in the dick?
I don't know. It was close enough.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
So then Donovan goes on. He's like, all right, wait. He's like, all the money was spread across like a bunch of banks. And then he's like, for example, Chesterford, Unity Bank in Chesterford, Massachusetts.
Unity Savings and Loan in Chesterford, Massachusetts.
Why is that the first one that pops to mind? Like, what?
Oh, no. It's so funny.
Why would you send the money to a U.S. bank anyways? What are you doing? What are you doing?
The setup for this movie is just so funny. Like, 'cause then they just kill him, and they're like, "All right, guess we're gonna do it our way, the hard way." And you're like, "You don't have to do that."
Yeah.
Like, you could have gotten $1 million out of this guy for sure. You spent like 5 more minutes on him, torturing him or whatever.
Go get the laptop that's laying in the briefcase. I assume that's what that was, the secure laptop. Yeah, go grab that and be like, all right, dude, get another hacker to punch it in and or you're dead.
This movie could have been over in minutes.
So did they kill him? I forget, or they just knocked him?
No, they kill him.
Yeah, okay, they kill him. Oh my goodness. And then we cut to
the streets of Kabul.
Yeah, title card, Kabul. Like, how are we getting to Chesterford? Well, I mean, I know how we're getting there, but why are we in Kabul?
I love this movie.
This might be one where we say, you know what, watch this one. So we're in the Kabul streets of Kabul. And there's some lady talking to a dude. We don't know who this lady is, right? And the guy's like, she's clearly talking to some connection, right? And local. And he's like, yeah, you want to go talk to the Englishman in the big scarf. And the camera literally just turns. There's many moments of this, and the camera literally just turns, and there's this overweight English guy who stands out amongst everyone in Kabul wearing a giant red scarf, and he's 20 feet away. What?
Yeah, I love when movies treat us like we're stupid.
Just go talk to the guy who stands out. I don't know, the guy with the giant red scarf.
It's so good.
So then she's like, okay, and she goes and meets this big Englishman in the middle of the street, and they're doing an exchange of antiquities here, right? And she
trying
to, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a military Humvee pulls up. They zoom in on this interaction going on, and military come out and they arrest her. U.S. military,
yep,
comes out and
2018, checks out
and arrests her. Who is an undercover Interpol agent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He's an idiot. I was 6 steps away from arresting the biggest antiquity smuggler in Asia. And he's like, sorry, ma'am, phone call for you?
Yeah. Gets a call from someone higher up. And then she's talking to someone and she's like, I'll find them this time. Or where is she from? I don't even know where she's from. What's her accent?
I know. Bulgaria, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I know Interpol's got offices everywhere. They're based in France.
Yeah, nondescript Eastern Europe is what her accent is.
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, so then we roll back to the construction site. We get the U.S. Army rolls in, and they're talking to the local cops. I'm like, what are they? What's going on? I guess we're in Afghanistan, so yeah, sure, they're everywhere over there. But
I love the guy. He's like, what the hell happened here? That's what we're trying to assess. who's we? And then it's like, that's when it shows the woman from Interpol there, and you're like, oh, interesting. Like,
yeah, she does a little camera scan of someone's face and gets like this.
The dead woman.
The dead woman
that got shot in the back. Yeah.
And immediately identifies her. Oh yeah, this is the lady who's working with Donovan. Yada yada yada. Right.
Natalie Buskova, of course.
Right. Sure. Right.
Wait, Natalie, not Natalia.
Yeah. So the nondescript Eastern European agent, Interpol agent, pronounces the Russian woman's name, but with an English American. All right, I just want to make sure I was tracking that correctly.
Yep. And then they explain away this whole beginning scene. Basically, they're like, "Oh, this Mr. Donovan was the CEO of a large construction company, war profiteer." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just say some keywords and make him sound like he's a bad guy, right? Like, well, yeah, okay.
And he stole close to $100 million over the last few years.
Yeah,
is what they say, and you're like,
close to.
That's so much money.
Yeah.
Why are these guys looking for like 50 grand? Basically?
Yeah. and then we get, so after we get that set or that cleared out, look at what the setup there is, and then we get Rossi here, Agent Rossi, basically just talking about a bunch of exposition on how badass this mercenary crew is. Like,
yeah,
that's all it
they
is.
Don't,
we do this.
They don't panic. They adapt and execute.
Yeah. God, it just feels so bad. It's over the top. And they kill anyone they'll get in their way. Okay.
Been there. So
then we cut to good old Chesterfordtonville, Massachusetts.
That's right. There's like a quick airport, which you're like, oh, okay, this is how we're denoting that we traveled. In case you weren't sure if we were still in Kabul, it's the Chesterford International Airport.
Oh my God. So it's just Nick Cage doing his
driving around.
Yeah, just driving around town doing his rounds, driving around Bulgaria. And then we cut to a high school, Chesterford, Massachusetts high school, and we immediately cut to like a student walking through, but it's like from the camera phone, like viewing, and he's in a bathroom, and he's like basically giving himself like a pep talk in the mirror, and it's like, who does this, man? He's like, why do I deserve this? I don't bother nobody.
The bully busts in and goes, look at this little bitch.
And then in this scene, there's a couple F-bombs dropped of both natures. I'm like, whoa, all right. I mean, I guess kids, right?
Kids, yeah. And they give him a swirly. Like, never in 100 years did I guess there was going to be swirlies in this movie.
No. We could not have prognosticated these things. It was impossible. Impossible to know. Possible to know.
Incredible movie. Well, and I think that's one of the other big gripes I had about like inspired by the North Hollywood shootout, because I was like, those guys weren't they weren't like mercenaries. They like one guy was like ran a computer shop.
Yeah.
Like they were like bodybuilders.
Yeah. Like what is going on here?
There's nothing to do with anything.
No, not one bit. So they're dropping F-bombs, trying to give Kenny a swirly here. They're just picking on whatever. So clearly Kenny's got, he's got a lot of friends there. And then, then Kenny takes a swing at the kid and just, boom, knocks him out. Boom, one shot.
Like cold. Like,
yeah.
That kid's got brain damage now for sure.
Yeah. He hit him right across the jaw. That kid is done. Right hooks him. And then, but at the same time, he's like yelling for help. And like a teacher walks by and comes in the bathroom. He's like, what's going on in here? And he sees like one kid put a camera away and like, he puts his camera phone away, and then like Kenny's just like, oh man, and just runs. like Forrest runs, like keeps running.
Yes.
Just
yes.
He runs past the kid, runs past the teacher, runs out of the school. And just goes past Jenny and all the way to I just kept running. It's like, what?
So then we cut to Mac.
Yeah, McAvoy here. And we meet
another hero.
Yeah, Steve and Lisa McAvoy here. Sophie Skelton and
wow, where's this guy from? Because his accent is horrendous.
Yeah. Because he definitely bounces back and forth.
Yes.
He does he'll start with
Boston.
He commits to Boston in the beginning, then that goes away, and then he goes really into Boston later on.
He's from New Zealand. Incredible. That makes sense.
I was just gonna. Oh my God, that's totally it.
That makes perfect sense.
That tracks. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, that'll make sense.
Yeah, it's incredible. The accent work is mind-boggling.
There's some. I'm trying to get a movie we've done where like the accents bounce around all over the place. And you're like, what's going on? Why? Just speak normal. Just speak normal. It's fine. Like,
well, I think Jiu-Jitsu was one of them. They like did a bunch of weird accents. And,
yeah, you're right.
Why?
Don't do them. Don't do them.
Don't do them.
Don't do them.
Where are you, babe?
Yeah. Like,
walking around his house, and then he finds her in the bathroom, and she's like, "Don't freak out. I'm pregnant."
Like, okay.
Like, what is this movie? I didn't have money on any of this happening.
Don't freak out. It's like, wait, aren't you planning to try and have a kid? Because you have all this shit later on. Like, so you've been trying to have a kid, but don't freak out. Why would you say that? Just be like, nailed it. We did it.
And then I love it's like she's like, I'll have your mom take me to the doctor today to make sure. And you're like,
right.
Can't you just go to the doctor?
Yeah, just go. Just go. At the same time, when he was walking through the house to go to the bathroom, though, we see photos of Nick Cage and her. So we're like, oh, okay, this is his daughter.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on those.
Yeah. They did a quick shot. I'm just like, okay, all right. Okay. And then we cut to Randy's house.
Yeah.
Some old guy and his wife, and he's the bank manager, right?
Yeah. So this scene is also ridiculous, and his wife is definitely Bulgarian.
Yes.
Like, what is her accent?
I'm not even sure if she's listed. Was his name Randy or Randy? It was Randy.
His name was Randy. Yeah.
Randall. Here he is. Yeah. Velazar Benev. I don't know what.
Well, his accent was great.
Yeah. I mean, his was
fine. Yeah.
His just sounded like his. Yeah. He was born in Sofia, Bulgaria. So yeah, that tracks.
Oh, I think his wife must be Evgenia Marinkova. I think that's maybe the woman who played his wife. Is Eleanor? That sounds right.
What was her name? What was the character's name?
Eleanor, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't even see her in here.
She's got like one line.
Yeah. So they have, I don't know what this is. It's basically to make you feel like you're connected to all the different parts here, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to work. And she's like, oh, you always go to work. And don't let them take advantage of you, whatever. And he's like, you're always busy. Like, let's have some time for ourselves, right?
Yeah. And he's like, well, this way I can spend my nights with you. And she's like, well, you don't spend your days with me either. And you're like, right, because he's at work. What do you?
It's called a bank. Banker's hours, 9 to 4. What are you doing here?
Yeah, but it's their anniversary, and they've got big plans to fall asleep in front of the TV tonight.
Yeah, well, no one went and told her, because what happens at the end of the
movie? Yeah. And he's also like talking about how like he's like, well, I guess I should just be a stand-up comedian, and you're like, what? Why would that be your other go-to alternative job? Like, what's happening? Who wrote this?
York and Jeff did. John, or whatever his name is. Yeah, John. York and John. Jesus. All right, so we cut to the streets, and we're at Duncan's gun shop here.
Yeah, which was like, oh, of course. Like, there's so many gun shops everywhere in Massachusetts.
Right. So, which, by the way, this town is very small. This town is very small, and everything's right next door. I got lost in terms of like where the explosion happened. I thought it happened at the cafe that they went to get coffee at, but it was like
it did. Or
no, it didn't. It didn't
at the cafe that not the one that they went to. The one
originally I thought it was. I was like, wait, what's happening right now? So we're at the Duncan's gun shop here, and Agent Rossi, she pulls up and catches, I'm assuming, Duncan at the door here, and is just like, I have some questions for you. Like, what are you doing in? Wait, what?
Where is this?
Yeah, where is this? Actually, now I'm like, wait, are we in? We're not in Chesterford.
I think it's in like Western Mass somewhere.
It's got to be somewhere else because she's not in Chesterford yet. So
nope. And he's got a Southern accent, which is funny and doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
Like, oh, little lady, like, wow, we got whatever guns you want over here. Like,
but it's also like he's immediately a creep, and he's like, I got some big guns for you, and like all of a sudden everything they say has become like a plot moving forward, but also like innuendo. It's like, you need some big guns? I got some big explosions for you. And you're like, what?
Got a great selection of ladies' weapons.
Like, what's
a ladies' weapons?
They're just pink. Like, what? Also, like this scene, like the audio was like stand out bad. Like it looked like they re-recorded all their audio and like placed it over because it sounded like it was like dubbed. And I was like, what?
Yep.
what is going on? It was so weird. I was like, why is this sexual like this? Stop doing this. So then she goes on listing like real weapons, and he's like,
I want something bigger.
Oh,
this lady wants something bigger.
Yeah, well, AR-15s and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, oh, man.
Grenades,
she's just listing off all the stuff that Mercs have picked up before, right?
Yes.
and then this is one of those moments again where it's like, she shows a picture of Trey, the main bad guy, and she's like, do you know who this guy is? And he's like, nah, I don't know who that is. And then like the camera pans up to a photo of this guy and Trey, like right above his head.
Yeah.
And he like looks up at it, and they're both like, gotcha.
Yeah. And then he like writes down a phone number,
address. No, it was an address. It's an
okay.
address to the warehouse where they're all set up in Chesterford.
Yeah. But he writes it down, and then he crumples it up and drops the crumpled paper in front of her. And you're like,
what?
What?
It's a mic drop moment. Like, I'm helping you, but I ain't.
Like, she could just uncrumple it. Like what are you doing?
And she gets it because she's like, hey, if one person dies from their actions, I'm going to hold you liable. And it's like, lady, you're with Interpol. This isn't how this works, first of all. Nope. And what are you doing here doing this? Like, this isn't your job. Like, this is not how this works. Like,
I love this movie.
No one did. I feel like no one did it. Like 2018, Google and the internet existed, right?
Yes.
Just do a quick Google search. How does Interpol work? Not like this.
This movie's the best.
It's so great. So we're back at the McAvoy house here, and we got they're going through kids' names, and this is where we learn that Lisa
and the kid George. It's going to be a boy. I promise you.
Settle down, dude. Settle down. And then she's like, "How about Mike?" And then that's when things get a little sour because she's like, "You kidding?"
He suggests Mike, and she's
he
doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, it's the dad. That's Cage's name, obviously, and we start learning there's a little rift between the daughter and father. So, which, oh God. All right, so then we're back at school, right? And this is just this movie just keeps rolling with the hits here. So then we're at the school, and we got Kenny's mom talking to the vice principal. And this escalated really quickly to him getting expelled for punching a kid.
Yes.
Expelled?
Yes.
You get
expelled
for punching someone. You get suspended for like 5 days, and then
I know
you don't get expelled.
No, that kid's got brain damage though.
I guess it depends on how bad the damage is, right?
Yeah, I think he murdered that kid.
Yeah, he got him pretty good.
So it kind of makes sense.
Escalated pretty quickly. But she's like, yeah, he's got a clean record. So I was like, he's got a clean record and you're going to expel him for punching a kid who was like bullying him and pushing him around? Like,
yeah. And also her accent is wicked funny too.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I don't know.
Why is this woman in Chesterford from Bulgaria?
So
why is everyone in this movie from Bulgaria?
This whole situation just escalates so quickly. So Kenny knocks out this kid, and she's like, "Well, that's not what the teacher saw. The teacher came in and saw this kid down on the ground, and Kenny ran. So okay, that's not a good look for you. But he's got a clean record. He's never done anything, gotten in trouble before. You're going right to expulsion for knocking a kid out, and then you offer up a ride along as like a." And the mom's like, this is a scared straight thing. And the principal's like, no, don't think of it that way. It's just kind of like
it's just like a scared straight thing.
Basically scared straight.
Yep. And I love the teachers got a couple gems in here because they're like, we have a zero tolerance policy on violence in school or whatever. She's like, do you have a zero tolerance policy on bullying too? Because my kid's getting bullied or whatever. And she's like, yes, of course. Like we even have a slogan. If a teen's being mean to a teacher, come clean. What? That's what you tell the kids to do? If a teen's being mean,
come to a teacher.
Come clean.
Who makes this up?
You're like, why are they coming clean about reporting bullying? Like that's not what coming clean means.
No. Oh, like if you see something, say something. Just say that. That's it. You can use that. Steal that. It's used everywhere. Oh my God! So then, so then the mom is like has very clear, obvious like concerns about like because they're African American. And she's like, oh, so an African American kid in the backseat of a cop car all day? That sounds a great idea. like what do you? That's what you're gonna do? That's how you're gonna set him straight for knocking out a kid who's bullying him? Like,
yeah. And the principal's like, well, it's either that or expulsion. You pick.
All right. Well, and we're back at the McAvoy house.
And that's when Mac's like, What's wrong with naming the baby after your dad?
Isn't it right? Isn't it right? It's not like your dad's dead. Your mom's dead. Wait, whoa, where are you from, buddy?
It's not a dead wife. It's a dead wife.
It's dead wife. Australian. He's not. He's New Zealand. It's all the same down there. All right, so we get so we're like, so this is where we're like intercutting between sad Nick Cage and the McAvoy house here, and it's like basically her giving all this exposition about how shitty he was as a dad, like the mom died of cancer or something like this, yada yada, and he wasn't around, and he was selfish, whatever, and he had and he, Steve Mac there was like, he's had a rough go, but and meanwhile Cage is looking over his retirement plan from Chesterford, all from the trailer.
Yep.
Bunch of exposition why he wasn't there. And then she cuts into like, we cut back to them and she's going into the knowing about what it's like to be a cop, cop wife, knowing, you may not come home because it's like a setup for later on when he, gets shot. And he's like, I promise you, I will never die. I'm trying to like do a Massachusetts via New Zealand, but that's a tough one.
Right. Impossible.
It's impossible.
You can't.
Clearly. He's getting paid to do it and he can't do it. No. I promise you I will never die. It's basically what he says. And she's like, okay, thanks. And then
he's like, he was a minute ago when he was like, I promise you it's a boy. Now he's like, why don't we name her Susie or Sarah or Georgina? Yeah. Wait, why is it a girl now? Like,
what is happening?
I don't know. It's so funny.
Now I'm like, was this script written by AI? This might have been written by AI. Yes. John Rebus. That's why he doesn't have any of the credits, because that's just a made up name for AI.
ChatGPT. Yeah.
ChatGPT. Oh my God. So
ChatGPT's pen name.
John Rebus. And then we get the honking horn. Nick Cage is here picking up his partner.
The trailer.
Yep, all over the trailer. And then we get so Steve gets in the car. Nick Cage does a wave to the daughter. Daughter's like, not having it.
And this is why in the trailer it was the line came across as so awkward was because they censored it.
Yes.
So when he was like,
same
old, they just left it same old shit.
Yeah, that's the rest of the line.
Put shit in the trailer. I think that's fine.
It's fine. Bleep it out.
Yes.
And then they drive off, and then we cut to the bank, and we see Randy being a bank manager. He's just doing his thing. Again, weird audio, like the audio ADR or whatever. Like it's just like very strangely dubbed sounding, and he's like telling everyone basically their job. He's just like,
"Yep,
if you got a cash drop, blah 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 blah." Like, okay. Yep. And then we cut to the cop car ride, and Mac is like, "Hey, guess what, Dad? We're preggers." The Nick Cage reaction was like, "Wow,
well,
wow,
that's some news."
Wow. I was waiting for him to like get really excited and like start like punching the steering. Yeah, wow, man, yeah. He's like, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Oh my God! And then
that's when Mac's like, you should call her sometime. She'd love to hear from you. And that's when you're like, oh, okay, whatever.
That's gonna be
cut back to the bank.
My thought was like, oh, you should call someone. I was like, yeah, the one phone call, the one time he calls her is on the phone is to tell her that Mac is dead, which would have played better, but
yikes,
there are no stakes. And then we're back to the bank, and we got Randy doing more bank exposition here.
He walks into the vault and he's like talking to the woman in the vault, and she's like, all right, boss, 1.36 million as always. And I was like, do you always keep 1.36 million dollars in the like? That's so specific.
It's the exact amount our mercs need here to live for like 6 months.
I don't know. Yeah. The only thing that I do appreciate, maybe this is what when they said inspired by the North Hollywood shootout, maybe this is what they meant, was because it was also a hilariously small amount of money when they.
Yeah. I think they actually ended up getting away with like 200,000 or 300,000 or whatever.
300 grand. Yeah.
But even the amount they were going for, because like the bank drop day was like they did it on the wrong day. Like there was even less money in the bank anyways, and then like all the money they took had like all the die packs and stuff in it.
It was supposed to be close to $1 million. When they got there, but it ended up being 300 grand. Yeah. Well,
1997 money.
There's more than 300 grand there, but they destroyed a bunch of it in the robbery.
Yeah.
Which is also funny. And they do in this movie too, like destroy everything basically.
Yeah. So Randy's going through. He's like, yeah, if the drawer's over, don't remind me beforehand. Let's get it done. 2 p.m. Let's have a great day. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we should have done? We should have done for our pitch the Pierce Brosnan movie.
Oh yeah. I forgot the other one.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right,
I can't remember.
It was
yeah. The something laws. Outlaws. Yeah. Nice. Nailed it.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
All right, so then we're at the warehouse with our boys here, our bad boys, our bad mercs, and it's
just cocking guns constantly.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Like they're arming up with so much stuff. Like I was like, honestly, this seems like a little overkill, but what do I know? So like, I mean, I love how he like, this was the other, I think maybe nod to like the actual shooting. Cause like they count all the rounds that were shot in that North Hollywood thing. It was like some ridiculous amount of rounds, but I love how in this right here, he's like, how many rounds we got? And he's like, 2,500, whatever. He's like,
5,200.
5,200. Maybe we don't need it or whatever. I don't know. It's like, let's get it packed up. It's like,
yeah. Which in the North Hollywood shootout, it was more like 1,100. Like why make it like, Why? So then we cut to the grill here. Garçon's Grill, which is also a coffee shop, but whatever. And we have the other merc. He's having some coffee, hanging out, right? Yep. Takes a phone call,
and he's like, "Okay, boss," and he sets a bomb underneath the table.
Totally inconspicuous.
So the waitress comes over and she's like, "Hey, here's your tab, whatever." And he drops a 20, and she's
for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, keep the change, beautiful. And she's like, "Wow, big tipper."
Yeah, wicked big tipper.
So we're back at the warehouse. He leaves, right? We're back at the warehouse, and they're going over the plans. They got the blueprints. There's one security guard. We got hostages who will do this. 5 minutes. 5
minutes in and out. Which another one. Like all of this information is available if you're trying to make it like the North Hollywood shootout. Say 8 minutes because that's what they estimated.
Yeah,
like we know all of this.
Yeah, just take all the facts from that and roll it in here. It's gonna be okay. You can do that.
So bad.
Just Google something. Just research something. But it's also
5 minutes in and out, and we're rich. Is how he ends that sentence.
Yeah,
and you're like, we're rich. Everybody's got $250,000.
Yeah, $250,000.
Like, you could put a down payment on a house in Massachusetts with that money.
$250,000. That's like sadly the average net worth of. That's way more than actually. That's more than like the average
of retirees.
And that's way under
and way less money than they need.
Yeah. Oh my god. And also like the plan they've got and what okay.
I love this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty great. All right, so we're back in the cop car. We got the cop car right here, and this is where we get the Nick Cage from the trailer. He's ranting on about retiring and how it's a bad, it's a bad time to be a cop, whatever. He's like going on about
everybody's got lawyers now.
That's the other problem with this movie. I don't know, like, what's the commentary? Because there's like so many. There isn't any, but like it feels like they're leaning into this camera in your face thing, right? And lawyers, like, this sort of thing, and then
it's supposed to be like there's like a police brutality kind of element to it, but then it's not
it doesn't. Yeah, like don't because then they keep cutting to like random security camera footage, like as like you're in the scene. Like, why are you doing this? Like, what is this supposed to do?
It's so dumb.
Not a good time to be a cop. So we're at the police headquarters. Station. Police station here. We got a shot from the trailer. Mom dropping off Kenny for the ride along. She's like, "Is this safe?" And the cop's like, "Yeah, sure. Why not? It's Chesterfield. What could go possibly wrong?" And the mom's like, "Yeah, just a black kid in the back of a cop car." That's what could
this
go
would be
wrong.
totally fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah, and especially if you put it in the context of Massachusetts, which is also like a pretty white state. Dude, you're like,
this isn't
going to go well for anyone. No. Well, and then they do another right now. So like they're out in the parking lot, and Mike and Mac are getting out and coming into the station, and they're like talking to the other cops, and they're like, "Mac finally got my fucking daughter pregnant."
I was like, that's a weird line to say, isn't it?
It sure is. And then he's like, "Could have been worse. Could have been you." And the guy goes, "Because I'm black?" And he goes, No. Yes. No. What is this movie? Who wrote this?
No. And then like as the scene cuts, he's like, "Yes."
Like, what is this movie?
Also, the state flag. This is all the stuff I pay attention to. I was like, because they have this giant flag at the top. It said like state of Massachusetts. I'm like, that's not the state flag. That's not even close to being the state flag. It just had like 2 stars on. I'm like, that's not even. Why even put that there? Like, I know why you're putting it there to like let us all know.
It's a Bulgarian flag. They taped over it with masking tape.
I don't think it's the state of. I think it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts too. By the way.
That's right.
So, Jesus, just research something.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And then I love. They walk over and they see the kid. Poor Kenny is sitting on his bench, and Mac just goes, "What kind of shit is this?"
Well, before that though, we before that, we meet the other 2 cops. I'm like, why do we care about these 2 right now? Like
Jacobs and the guy, whoever that guy is.
I don't know. Jacobs and it doesn't matter. It's Jacobs and Donovan. No, not Donovan. I don't know. Jeff. I don't know. Somebody.
Who knows?
And so like they're talking, like they're busting each other's chops, and like, oh yeah, well, you know,
you should get into comedy or something. It was
why is
a comedy thing?
Yeah, what is that? Why is that everyone's funny line?
Everyone's like, oh, you should be a stand-up comedian. Like this whole movie, you're like, York, do you want to be a stand-up comedian?
Yeah. Is that your best dig that you can come up with for someone who's like trying to be funny and busting your balls? Like, oh, you're so funny. Maybe you should be a stand-up comedian. It's like, what? And then Jacobs is going on about how this other guy is just a shitty shooter. And like, well, don't shoot me in the ass for later on. I don't know. It's what is happening right now?
I don't know, but I love it.
So then McAvoy shows up, and there's a giant board behind with all the cops telling like, hey, what your duty is or assignment is for the day. And Jacobs is like, oh, looks like you guys got some fun stuff or whatever. And Mac looks up at the board and he's like, oh, right along, great. Yeah. And then they go pick up Kenny, and immediately Mac is like an absolute dick. Like,
yeah. Well, I love Mike. Also goes like, what is when they're talking about the ride along and they're upset that they have to do it, and he's like, oh well, we all got to be Officer Bill some days, and you're like, what is that? That's not an expression.
I don't know.
Who's Officer Bill? Like, what?
I don't know. I
know what you're going for because of the context, but like, what?
Yeah, and then this is when Steve got like a pretty hard Massachusetts accent right now, and it's still not. He's trying his best to do it.
You're here because you fucked up.
Yeah,
this isn't a fucking joke, kid. You're like, wipe that goofy smirk off your face.
So we're doing a ride along. We're driving around town, and they get a call to go check out something.
Yeah.
Right. It was the guy that we're going to see in a second. So.
Yeah, and then a possible shoplifting.
Right, stolen a carton of cigarettes or drug dealer or drug addict. So then we come back to the warehouse, and the boys are just loading up in the SUV, getting ready to go to work here. Yep. And then we cut to a gas station, and there's basically
it's like messed up.
It's like a homeless guy, drug addict, just hanging out at the gas station, and Mike is like grabs
a gun on him immediately.
I know. I was like, what? Guys, fellas, de-escalate. Let's. Actually, don't escalate. Don't escalate. You're escalating right now.
Yes. The guy was just standing there.
Yeah.
Trying to smoke a cigarette, have a good time.
And then Kenny's just grabbing it all on camera in the backseat of the car or whatever, right? And then it bounces to like the CC, like the security camera footage from the gas station. I'm like, what? Yeah. What are we doing here?
I don't know.
And then Stevie's like, I'll go in and get a statement from the clerk, whatever. And okay. And then we cut to our bad guys driving, kind of go over the plan again. Everyone's going through what they're supposed to do, and like 5 minutes max, boys. That's it.
And their accents have gotten much worse in this scene. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know where they're headed, but they're doing something.
Yeah, that's when we drive away slow-mo, brothers.
It's like, what?
That's the plan. You're not supposed to drive away from a crime slow-mo either. You're supposed to
you're supposed to have it down well enough where you just blend in back with society. You like if you're doing a highway chase, you're not going to get away. It's not going to end well. And I love how much like planning they have here. Mm-hmm. It seems like they've got this plan to a T. They get the blueprints, they're hostage. We got this whole thing, right? Yeah. But it immediately goes to shit, and they have like they had no backup plan for just 2 cops rolling up to the scene. They had no contingency plans for anything else. It was just like
getting a parking ticket or whatever.
Yeah. Like also, why are you parked in the red zone in front of a bank? Like don't
do that.
Don't do that. Even for 5 minutes in an SUV, what are you doing?
It doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense.
No, nothing makes any sense. So then we go back to the gas station, and we got Nick Cage just harassing our drug addict here. And he's like, hey, can I search your bag? He's like, oh, do I have an option? He's like, no.
Yeah. And then
classic cops.
We need a transport unit because we got the kid in the back, so like we can't arrest this guy properly.
What?
Okay.
All right. Kenny's like still recording. And then we cut. So then we cut to the warehouse, and Interpol agent Rossi here. She shows up, and she's checking it out alone. Which, what? No,
it doesn't make any sense.
That's not how that works. And she's like checking out the warehouse because the boys had just left, and she finds.
Listeners, it's like a pretty, like there's shit all over the warehouse. Like it's a big warehouse. And there's lots of stuff, and she immediately is drawn to this tiny piece of paper on the floor.
Yeah, or like a label, like a torn label, which it basically is like a off a C4, like it was packaged in like a C4 like label, and that was torn off. What is going on? Why would like they just tore through the package of C4 and was like, oh guys, check out this cool stuff I got, and like ripped off the like, is that how it comes packaged? I don't know, but like what is
It's so funny.
That was my other connection to Die Hard, by the way. A lot of C4 usage.
Oh yeah, a lot of good C4 usage.
Yeah. So she's on the hunt. Just Interpol agent, just on the hunt by herself in the U.S. soil, just with not doing her actual job.
Nope.
So then
we're not going to figure it out either.
So we cut to the bank, and the boys pull up, and
armed to the teeth. Like
which
no subtlety.
Which is also not the way you're gonna. That's not how it's gonna play out. Like that's not how it's gonna. If you're gonna rob a bank, don't do this. Don't do this.
That's right.
Don't. You know what? Don't rob a bank.
Right.
Hire a couple of hackers to go. Extort some company who will pay you in 2 seconds to get their access back to stuff. You're done.
This guy got $100 million out of Afghanistan. Like, I'm sure you can get some of that from somebody. Like,
don't do this. Was it 1.36 million in this bank?
Yeah. Well, that's in the bank. Yeah. And that's not even like that guy's money, really. I think that's just the money in the bank. Like that's the other thing too. Like, it doesn't make any like. There's probably like $100,000 worth of Mr. Donovan's money that's actually in this bank,
right?
And like the rest of it's all just like regular people.
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's wicked funny. And so then they like while they're getting out with all their guns, like obviously everyone immediately knows it's a robbery around them, and there's like a woman who's outside the bank, and they grab her and bring her into the bank, and you're like, let her go. There's probably plenty of hostages in the bank, don't do another one.
What are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? I also don't get so like 5 minutes. And so they're going to go in, and this guy's sitting outside, and everyone outside already knows, like, this is going on. Like, so fun. Okay, so then, they do the old, they get in there, like, all right, everyone down, get a blah, blah, kind of little chaos, right? And they're like, hey, hit the manager, like, you're the bank manager? Yeah, and hits him in the face, open the vault.
Don't be a hero.
And then I love how, like, it's Weston there, and Trey, our main guy here, and the bank manager in the back, and he opens up the vault, and again, there's like weird lines that caught me. I was like, why is he saying this? And he's like, you have 1 minute, and then like Weston's character is like, you know me, bro, I got this.
Yeah.
Who would say that? Why would you say that? And why would you say that in that moment?
You wouldn't.
just do your job. Don't talk. Don't just go do your job. Just go do it. Don't be like.
And then I love, again, like this has already been probably more than the 5 minutes that they had allotted to the whole robbery.
Oh, yeah.
And then after they go into the back, get into the vault, tell the guy to start packing up the cash, that's when they go out to the front and they're like, everyone put your phones on the ground. And you're like, that's the first. They could have called the police already immediately.
I was like, why are you doing that now? Why don't you make this scene, I'm not going to be ameliorating, but like make the scene a little more like frenetic and like just... You know what? I got an idea. Just watch Point Break, the original Point Break, right? And steal some stuff from what they did in that movie for how they did a bank heist.
Sure.
Cut to the two guys. What are the other two idiots doing? They're just standing there in the front hall. Like what? Cut to them collecting phones. Like what? Like so I was like, I wrote that. I was like, wouldn't that be the first thing you do? You come in like, all right, dude, you're on cell phone duty. And obviously they're not very good at it because some kid had a cell phone later on. I'm like, what? How?
Yep. That's also right.
Oh my god! And then I love how they cut the security guard, and he looked like he was just sleeping. I think the extra just fell asleep.
Yep. And meanwhile, the outside, the driver of the getaway car sees Mac and Mike stop at a coffee shop, like 500 yards away, like several football fields away, far.
But it's also like so close, but it's also so far, but it's so close at the same time. At first, I thought this is where he placed the bomb because like they're all getting coffee at the same place. Like, nope, different place.
Nope, different place.
So we're in a cop car, and we got Kenny watching a video of Mike resting or messing with the homeless guy there, and then and
it's only because it's funny. I love this line from one of the other robbers inside the bank who's also noticing down the street coffee shop cop situation. He's like, "Hey brothers, we got some county blues making a donut run." You're like, what? Who says county blue? Like, what are the lines in this movie? County blues.
ChatGPT, man, I'm telling you, they wrote this. This is the early version of them writing a script.
Has to be.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
So then, Mike takes Kenny's phone. He's like, I always record and stuff. And he puts it in the glove box. Like, I wonder if that's gonna come back later. It doesn't really. No. And then, Steve is inside.
Kind of.
Yeah, it kind of does. But so Steve's getting a coffee, and they're having a moment. And Kenny goes on about how he's getting bullied at school and this sort of stuff. And Mike's like, "Oh man, that sucks." He's like, "Oh, you don't have any friends?" And he's like, "No, not really."
Yeah. He's like, "What'd you do to get in this situation anyway? You don't look like a tough guy." And he's like, I get bullied all the time. I get choked out, punched, kicked. It just keeps getting worse. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like, why do you think you're bullying me? He's like, because I'm different. You're like, yeah. I was like, come on, man. Like, aren't you a cop? Aren't you supposed to be like,
but I can't.
They want me to change, but I can't. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't think they want you to change. That's not, that's, God damn it. Like that doesn't make any sense. He's got no friends to help. So then, so Mike's like, oh man, that sucks. And then he like spots the Escalade across in the bank, which is 3 football fields away.
Yeah. And he goes, "No one's going to pick on you today. I'm going to make sure of it."
Oh, right.
Sorry. That's when he spots the Escalade.
Jesus. And he's like, that guy's parked in the red zone. Like, what? Your first thought is bank robbery?
Yeah. Yep.
So they
start driving over.
Yeah, they start to go over to check it out.
And the robbers go, "We got a couple of overachievers here."
What?
What is this dialogue?
What is that? You don't know what they're doing right now. What do you?
And so this is when they're like, all right, let's give them something else to worry about.
Yeah. And immediately go to like their big gun here and blow up blow
up the coffee shop,
the grill, the coffee shop that the other
coffee shop, not the
wherever that is in town. I don't know in relation to.
Who knows?
So
it seems pretty close.
And they also, it seems very close. And they go immediately to that, to blowing that up. They're supposed to be in and out in 5 minutes. I get what their plan. Their plan was: you go in, right? You blow the thing up, so that distracts everyone to go over there. It's the classic Die Hard 3 move, right?
Yes.
You set the explosion in the subway, and then you rob the bank when no one's around.
But you're totally right. Like if the plan was to get in and out as quickly and as unnoticed as possible, why would you have a backup plan at all? That's blow up the grill. Like, why would that?
The only thing I think
be on your radar.
I think the idea was a distraction. I think that's all right. That's like what it's supposed to be. It's just to pull everyone to go to that thing. But
yes, but like, what if things went smoothly and they didn't even need to do that? Like, there's still a bomb in that cafe. Like,
yeah. Well, unless it was part of their plan the entire time.
I guess
that's the only thing I can think of, because like, why even?
But then that's immediately how you get the SWAT team there. Like,
right?
Like, why would you? Anytime you're blowing up a building,
you're gonna draw way more attention than you really necessarily want to the area, and you better make sure that thing blows up like maybe a town over, so it pulls. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of options.
A lot of options. So.
Yeah, but the waitress conspicuously leaves for a smoke. She goes outside for a smoke, and that's how she survives this bombing.
So the other thing too here, so they go in here with like these, the bandanas up and like their faces covered, but at this point, all their faces are uncovered. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Did they talk about like the cameras in the bank, like taking care of that? Like,
nope.
Also, there's hostages who are all going to see your faces.
That's right.
If everyone describes the same face.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Nope, nothing makes any sense.
Oh my God. So they make the call, and kablooey, that's it. The grill is gone. The waitress was going out for a smoke, and I'm like, everyone in there is dead. This is like a C4.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's no one surviving this. Like,
this is a mass casualty event for sure.
Like, I think everyone inside that building's probably going to come down a bit, and then everyone on the sidewalk walking by that is going to be toast. I don't know much about C4, but I know it
100%.
It goes kablooey. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
No. Oh my god. But yes, some people survive. Maybe, I don't know. Do they? We're gonna blow up.
Guess we'll find out.
We're gonna blow up part 1 right now with C4.
Oh my god! God damn it!
This is our distraction as we rob you in part 2.
That's right. That's right. Look behind you, listener.
Gotcha. So that's it, part 1. We'll find out if anyone survived the C4 blowout. We'll see if Kenny gets found unbullied.
See if they get away with any money.
Any money at all. All right, well, thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday part 2. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram. It's This Meets That. Subscribe where you listen to podcasts instead of auto download. Mm-hmm. If you like this show, you should tell a friend.
Or leave a review to give us some, maybe 5 stars and a tip on how you'd commit a robbery.
Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, you're right. Save your tips on how to commit robberies for our email. Send us one of those.
I don't want to.
It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or just go to the website. If you don't want to tell us how to do robbery, fine. I get it. Check out all our old episodes instead.
Yes.
We've got plenty of Nick Cage episodes. We've got plenty of, apparently, what's her name? Sophie Skelton?
Sophie Skelton, yeah. We've done
recent episodes.
Day of the Dead, Bloodline. Yep, go check that out. Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's probably information about Russ's book Host there at the website as well. Go buy it wherever you buy books. Merch for us. You got t-shirts, no mouse pads.
No mouse pads. You've been lying for years now.
You can get a mug though, or what was the thing? It was like a tapestry.
Bag.
Get a tapestry.
Yeah, get it. I'd like to see the tapestries.
Why do they have tapestries?
I don't know. It's those people who smoke a lot of pot hanging over your bed. Like, if you own a bong, you own a tapestry.
Yeah, totally. But all of that and more at itsthismeetsthat.com.